Hello, everybody, and welcome. Today, not only am I joined by my friend and occasional victim, fellow YouTubers, Xenogelion, and much more importantly, far more importantly, we have the pleasure of having a chat with the voice of our very own maternal space uncle, killer robot, and BDSM enthusiast, Erra. Welcome, Antonio Greco. Welcome.
I'm so touched. You die last. Thank you.
Cool. Good. Suck it up. Yeah, that's fucking great. Right. Yeah. Hope we're all doing well. So we're going to jump right in. I've got a couple of questions just to set the mood. This is going to be pretty lax. It's not like I'm not expecting structure. This is just going to be we're going to talk for like half an hour-ish, and I'll just cut it to pieces.
Like a quarantine questionnaire, like a quarantine-aire.
It's entirely coronavirus based. Like the way to date this video. Thanks for that.
Well, it's going to be going for a while.
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point. Yeah, that's actually a fair point. Right. To start off with, how did you get the role initially?
So, I've heard other voice actors who were in the game say the same thing. There's a casting website. There's several casting websites that a lot of voice actors go to, and this one in particular is based out of Canada. And so I guess DE was like, all right, let's do it. So I just came across it one day. Honestly, it didn't say Warframe. It said nothing about Warframe. So I looked at it and I was like, okay, recurring game character. I'm like, what is this? Like a mobile game or whatever? Because I'd done some other stuff for like anime games or some like small game company in China. I'm like, all right, what little like small fry game is this? I'm like, okay, recurring role Erra. All right, pretty cool. Here's the script. The Lotus. Like, wait a minute.
I know this.
Keep reading. I was like, nah, that can't. I'm like, that's a pretty common name. That's not. Strange Children. I'm like, nah. The Tenno. I was like, God damn, it's Warframe. Of course, then I practiced like the 5 lines that they had for the audition, and I probably did it. And I'm not even joking, like 22 times.
Oh no, I know that feeling.
I was exactly like I was like, this is good. This is crap. I got to do it again. And then finally, I sent out the the one. I'm like, this is the one. I'm going to get it. This is the one. I sent it. I was like, damn, that's not the one. I'm not going to get it.
Can I take this back, please? Just send you another one, please. Just just make a little.
Can I just
change?
Then just spend like the next 2 weeks, like killing myself over whether or not I would get it.
Firstly, I want to know what the lines were. Were they stuff that you've put in that's been put in game already?
Some of the lines actually stayed the same. Okay, see, so funny story about this. Erra in the beginning, when they first had his script, he didn't speak in full sentences. Like, it was weird. Like the direction that they had for him is that they wanted him to sound kind of like, oh God, what's Joaquin Phoenix's character's name in Gladiator? Commodus. They wanted him to kind of sound like that kind of like pompous, sort of rich kid kind of thing. But when I looked at some of the lines, he spoke like broken, and I'm not sure if they were trying to go with like make him sound kind of alien, or if they wanted him like kind of breathy and like I'm not sure what they wanted, but it was kind of broken. But I did my best, and when I got the job, I was like, okay, study the lines, study these lines, and then I checked probably about 15 minutes before we were going to record, and they had completely changed half the dialogue.
Oh, excellent. Wow.
So I was like, great. I had another voice actor buddy of mine, like she got on a call with me the night before and she like played the Lotus for me and I practiced it. And I was like, yeah, I got it. I know what I'm going to do, which is a huge mistake. I got there and I was like, it's all changed.
It's weird to me that it can all just sort of swap out and suddenly be completely different and you have to learn it all. Like, because it's very different to like normal acting because you aren't on screen. It's like I feel like because you're obviously in a booth and you have like lines immediately in front of you, it can just be like, yeah, that's changed. You're doing it differently now.
It's 100% how it is too. In fact, I didn't even see what Erra looked like until we were almost done the first script.
Oh no!
They didn't even send me a picture.
I have a perfect thing to show you at some point, which is the thumbnail for this video. I got something commissioned, which is amazing. But
funny enough, I got something commissioned too.
Oh.
I've actually been, as you might know, I've been stalking a lot of like the fan art of Erra on like Twitter and whatnot, and I've been like giving shout outs to the artists and stuff like that. And it's always fun to see when an artist like recognizes that I'm the voice actor and they just completely lose their minds. But I did make a funny video making fun of the fact that people are making some of the strangest art of Erra possible. And I did commission someone to have Erra like luxuriating back drinking a wine glass full of Kuva, and he has like the leash in his hand. And
it's the leash, isn't it? It's always the leash.
It's the leash, which people have brought up to me. In fact, somebody in my clan, because I do play Warframe. I don't remember if I mentioned that or not, but I played for about 3 years before getting the job this past November. But yeah, somebody in my clan was like, you know what? If you go to TennoCon, you should see if they're gonna have the voice actor for Ballast there, and just come up with a leash and be like, all right, let's do this for the fans.
Oh my god!
Which I 100% would. Like, I'm that kind of extra. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll get it like a dog leash or something and see if he wants to do it.
That would be freaking hilarious.
Convenient plague stopped my plans.
Yeah, well, I mean, that sucks. Like the fact that TennoCon, this will be your first one, and you don't get to go.
Yeah, I know. I'm kind of hoping like maybe they'll be cool about like inviting me next year. I mean, Lucas has showed up like 3 times already, so
who knows? Maybe you'll be kicking around.
You just force my way in and just hope that works.
That's how we don't kill you off, because then it's literally just like, please, I was in this game once.
Let me in.
Okay, so you've been playing Warframe for over 3 years now.
Yes.
Who is your favorite Warframe, and what's been your favorite event so far?
Okay, so just full disclosure, total filthy casual. Like I had to, once I got the job, I'm like, oh crap, I got to catch up. I'm just like messing around on the map. Like I got to like get there and start doing the quests and whatnot. Since I've been playing more, I started off with Excalibur. I'm not going to lie.
Good boy.
Excalibur Umbra is my favorite. He's just Excalibur on crack. He looks cool. He's Excalibur on crack. Like I break him out. I'm like, oh, let me try this new Warframe, and then I fail, and I'm like, I'm Excalibur Umbra. So definitely Excalibur Umbra is my favorite. As far as events go, oh man, that's tough. I'm gonna say, even though it hasn't launched yet on console, Scarlet Spear.
That's very controversial. As I'm sure you're aware.
Oh, everybody's losing their minds about it. I know. So many bugs coming through.
It's a tumultuous time to be joining the community, I suppose. Which,
I mean, is it ever not?
I suppose they do like to keep things fresh. Maybe is the right way to phrase it. The diplomatic way to phrase it.
Very diplomatic.
So when did you start playing?
Oh god, it was about 3 years ago in a Destiny drought because I was a Destiny player.
Oh, okay, we're bonding. I like this. Yeah.
I mean, Warlock main, if that makes any difference.
I mean, that confuses me. Well, actually, no, it doesn't confuse me. I was going to say that why Warlock, because you play Excalibur, but they have the sword that shoots lasers, which is the same thing.
Pretty much. Well, that and like the healing ability, because you can't rely on me to like pay attention to my health bar. Come on. Yeah, no, I started with Destiny. Like I was big in like before it launched because I was a big Halo guy back in the day. So when Bungie announced, I was like, yeah, Destiny. And Destiny has had a lot of its pitfalls too. And at some point, a buddy of mine was like, hey, heard of this game Warframe? And I was like, no, what the hell was that? He's like, do you want to be a space ninja? And I was like, yeah. So I tried it out, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And I had some like buddies who would like join up with me and play, and that's where the filthy casual part came in. I was like, yeah, let me just play a little bit, and then somebody would drop off. I'm like, okay, I have no idea what to do. There's a whole wiki about this. I don't want to look stuff up. I'm just gonna stop, and then I would pick it up again. And honestly, before getting the job, the last time I picked it up was Fortuna in like 2018.
I mean,
terrible. Oh, I know.
No. That's a lot of people. Because I find I sort of dip in and out of the game these days. It's not so much a consistent thing because I'm in it mostly for the story, obviously.
Yeah,
but like,
well, that's the thing I think is nice about it too. Is like it's always there, and they do. I mean, it might take a while sometimes, but they do always add good stuff when they do add stuff. I mean, it might Scarlet Spear might be a little buggy at first, but once they fix it, there's a lot of stuff there. It's in my opinion.
What is it? Steve described it as like the wife, not the mistress, or something like that. The one you come back to. I can't remember. It was something on the, like, I may be paraphrasing that slightly, but
check it before you put it in the video.
I'm calling him out.
Okay, so I think a lot of people's attention are towards the future of where the narrative's going, especially Zale's audience. But my question to you, and I'm just expecting for the weirdest thing you could possibly say. What do you think Erra has been doing since between the old war and finally turning up to come save his sister.
Surfing the internet.
Just
he meant to get out, but then he was on Facebook and he kind of went down the rabbit hole, found the video on YouTube, kind of went there.
Kavat videos the entire time.
Well, if my experience is anything, trying to figure out everything I need just to get a Kavat, yeah, pretty much. Oh my God, it's so terrible. I hate it.
Yikes!
Scanned. I still don't have.
They've only been in the game for how long now?
I know.
Many years.
Several years.
Filthy casual, filthy, dirty casual.
It's like, when you adopt a cat in real life, you actually have to go around taking pictures of cats and then you show it to the adoption agency, and then they give you the materials to breed cats. That's how it works, right? That makes
pretty
sense.
much. And,
yeah.
And you're allowed to take a cat with you, and it has 3 tails, and it's all different colors, and will destroy your enemies.
And you can paint them. Like that's
exactly.
It's legal in Warframe to paint your animals.
Paint a cat.
It's like the little dome that comes up over the Kavats. It's like a spray shop. It just it's a button. There's like, oh, I think I'll fancy red today. Red makes it go faster. So I was going to ask, how do you record? Do you do it from like in the studio, or is it you do it
I have
in
a
your
home
own
studio?
Okay.
Yeah, I have like a home studio. I have my own setup. I got my standard, like I have a RE320 mic, XLR cable, into a preamp, into my, as we discussed, old Mac that probably needs to get replaced at some point, but it does the job. Reliable. Yeah, that's about it. I have like my soundproofing, like it's kind of I think you could maybe call it a booth, maybe.
Just
I'm looking around, maybe
stick up some insulating foam here and there.
And quite honestly, one of the sides is a blanket.
That's excellent. That's exactly what I tried to do.
Everybody thinks that I'm like super rich or something. Yeah, no, it's the same thing. Yeah, it's a blanket, maybe some foam. I kind of box myself in and just hide away from the world.
Yeah,
which is useful right now.
You're making it seem less professional. You need to big it up.
Well, like, to be honest, when I went to, I think it was TennoCon last year. I think it was. Maybe it was the year before. But when there was the voice acting panel and everything, Lucas described like your budget do-it-yourself soundproof booth, which was literally get some PVC pipe, make a big cube, and throw some blankets over it.
That is excellent. I love that image.
I know, just like I could just so totally see myself doing that. It was just like
you just hear the muffled voice of Tilragor on the inside of a blanket fort.
You would be surprised how many people actually do that. It's actually funny. I'm part of a voiceover workout group in my area, in the Philadelphia area, and completely by chance, there is a guy who runs the thing, who is actually the voice actor for Thatcher from Rainbow Six Siege, if anybody knows that. I'm just throwing out random video game references, but I've gone to his workouts, and we'll always describe like doing the exact same thing. Like most of the people there have been working like 10 years as voice actors, some in video games, some in all e-learning, whatever it is, and it's pretty much just like the makeshift, like a couple sticks, a blanket or two. That's about it.
Wow, we're all getting by. Really glamorizing it here. PVC pipe. Wow.
It's fantastic. I mean, I did see someone who had like a really nice one. It looked like a Connect or something. Like they're like magnetic things. You can like disassemble it and reassemble it. It looked like a refrigerator from the future.
You could get like the pop-up tents. They're like spring-loaded. You just like need to record on the go. Just release the tent. There it is.
Just pull a string. There it is.
Excellent. Boom. I was going to ask, like, what out of the people you've met through that, what's the biggest claim to fame aside from Rainbow Six?
Okay, that's tough, because what I might think is like super cool. You guys might be like, okay, that's fine.
Whatever's fine.
There's a couple people. I actually now I need to look up and see what he's in, but there is a guy named Tim Friedlander who is on the West Coast, and he's big in anime, like a lot of anime.
That sounds really familiar, and I don't know why.
Yeah, in fact, I'm going to look him up while I'm talking, if I can do 2 things at once.
It's fine.
It's fine. But yeah, aside from him, there was another guy. His name is Jason Lanier White. He is a huge mocap actor, because I do mocap as well. And I learned it from Carlo Mastroni, who is a Canadian who worked on a lot of the Ubisoft games, including a lot of the Assassin's Creed.
Oh, that's going to be cool.
Yeah, it was actually a lot of fun. he did show us some crazy stuff and like some of the things that he did, and it's wild, man. Like doing mocap, like you can't. It's just it's a whole process. It's a whole thing. Like I went in there going like, oh, I'm gonna know what to do. The action, you have to like freeze before you hit someone, back up like 10 feet, then they'll say start, and you do the motion, and they act like they got hit, and then you got to like, okay, back to position 1 and run back, and then start from the position when you hit them. It's a whole process. It's a lot of fun, but it's a whole process, and you're on your feet like all day long.
Yeah, I can imagine it seems pretty bloody physical, and I imagine they do need like quite a few takes of it as well. So,
only if you're not good.
Yeah, well,
I'm just kidding, I'm not that great.
It's not the Antonio way. Do once and then leave.
Do once and that's it.
Regardless of whether they want anymore, you just do it. And
it wasn't meant to be.
Oddly enough, talking about like the number of takes and things, the voice actor for Jerry in Rick and Morty,
Chris Parnell.
Yes, thank you. Like apparently, like he is absolutely phenomenal and can do everything effectively in one take. He just gets it perfect straight away. But the policy at Adult Swim is always 10 takes.
Get out.
Yeah. So this is what I've heard from other people that have like looked into this stuff. And apparently, like, so he always has to do 10 takes, even though the first one is just spot on Jerry. And like, oh man, like how would that make you feel? Yeah.
And I would hope he would just do nine like throwaway takes, like just completely no energy, just because.
That's a petty move, and I like it.
I would.
I was gonna say, like I think something that surprised a lot of people when we first met Erra is that just how sort of emotional he was. Like that one cutscene, everybody was like, "What? Why is he so poetic? What's going on here?"
People were it was kind of a mixed review about him being having emotions and being so emotional, which I mean, we're kind of comparing him to Hunhao, who was like very logic based and you know, was very stereotypically a robot. You know what I mean? Like what you would expect an AI or something like that. And Erra was kind of I mean, like I said, they wanted him to sound kind of like Commodus. So for Commodus, I got whiny more than anything else. It's funny when I was drawing on the inspiration for Erra, I had just done another video game called Age of Wonders Planetfall. I'm not sure when how it's like an RTS game. It's a real-time strategy thing. I never really played those sorts of things. But they wanted someone that was basically like a fallen kind of noble who was forced into like indentured servitude, and he talked like he was rich, but you know, was a lot tougher and gruffer, and literally the only thing I could think of was like, oh, Uldren Sov from Destiny. so I did that for that game, and then right on the tail of that game being finished, that's when they did Erra. So I was like, okay, I'll just kind of keep the same energy going through that. So Uldren Sov is kind of part of Erra.
I could totally see that, and also the lovely artist who did the thumbnail is a massive fan of both characters of Erra, Halebob, which you may know from Twitter. Everybody go follow her. I'm sure she's going to hate me saying this, but whatever. Yeah, no, I can totally get that, like sort of precocious, whiny energy from
especially in the second one.
Yeah, absolutely.
The newest thing that
there's a lot of in that cutscene. There's a lot of kind of. You can tell he's squirming, which I quite like. There was a bit of like, what's going on here? This isn't how it was before. Because you even said about like they changed the way the voice was processed.
They did change the way it was processed, but they also did. Now that I can say it, now that it's out, even though not everyone has seen it yet, the direction for Erra in that second one was completely different. You know, like. I'm talking about how I made the character and like how I came up with his sound. And then when I did that for the second one, that time was with Cam. The first time I was with George, Jeff, and Rebecca was reading her lines. And then the second time I was with Cam and Ryan. And when I did it with Cam was like, "Now listen, you got to make him sound like he's talking to like a forgetful nanny with dementia, and you're just kind of being really condescending and like trying to force all the words through a fake smile." And I'm like, I don't know if that sounds like the character I was building. He's like, "Just do it." So that one was definitely a little bit more challenging because it was like the character that I had already made. and I'm not sure why. I trust that they had a reason for it. And it's so far after looking at the cutscene, no spoilers, it kind of looks like there is a reason for it. But yeah, he was very much like whiny and just kind of like impatient, kind of being like, you know, an abhorrent little child in a way. So I think
it's very odd for like yeah, as you say, like Hunhao's very flat, but he's still got a bit of emotion. If you go back and look at it, there is still sort of like a certain human element to it, which is kind of, you know, some people have thought like, oh, is there something more to the sentient history from all the stuff we got in the Jovian Concord? I don't know how much you've played of that.
Enough. I mean, I've also seen your videos.
Yeah. Oh well.
But yeah, no, it was. I mean, Lotus, even though Rebecca tries to play Lotus like she's a little bit more flat at times, obviously has emotion. Her entire thing is that she decided that the Tenno were her children. So I think it's more the fact that it comes through in his voice that he's emotional. But he's also very poetic, which is what you would expect for a bad guy. They have to be dark, scary, and eloquent. Makes sense. That's like the big baddie.
Yeah.
Except not British. Not this time.
You know, I'm still incredibly angry I wasn't approached for the role of Drusus, you know. Doing lore for this game for a long time. They went with a northern actor, not, you know, well, I see how things are. Yeah. Just getting inexplicably changed the voice actor out like halfway through the Laverian. It's like, I'm the same character, yeah, whatever. Just forget about it. Just ignore it. It's fine.
Man, that's my fear too. I'm like, they're gonna I'm so worried. I'm like, oh my god, they're gonna kill Erra off, and I'm not gonna be able to do this anymore.
If Ballas is any kind of direction to look at, like, because he shows up in the sacrifice, and there was all of outcry of like, we just killed him, and then like a couple of months, what was it? I think it was out in June, and then in October, like 2 years ago. Not that I'm keeping count or anything since the prologue started. He that's when he shows up in Chimera. And he's still kicking, he's still alive, and still a major player, I think, considering the previous cutscene review. But I feel like there's a good chance, especially if the sentients are around to stay. They need like a face.
I think there's also another side to it where, looking at the rest of the game, character freaking Alad V, right? How many times can that guy die, right? If anything can die and come back, it would make sense for it to be the sentient. So, you know, I would totally follow suit to like why, you know, DE saying, oh yeah, don't worry about it. One of the reasons why but one question I have for you, right, is do you think, right, and this is entirely your own opinion, you know, not speaking on behalf of DE at all, do you think it would be for the players to actually fight Erra, or have it more like Alad V, where he is in the background, he is talking to you directly, but fight him, and then there's no ambiguity of whether or not he's alive or dead? It's one of my pet peeves.
You don't say.
Maybe it bothers you a little bit, I think.
A little bit.
Let's see. First of all, I'm glad you brought up Alad. I hate him and I want him dead. Sorry, that's an unpopular opinion.
Again.
He annoys me. I mean, he's a great. I mean, the actor who plays him, fantastic, good villain too. I just personally, as a villain, I want him dead. Anyway, moving on from that, it's interesting because unlike Alad V, Erra is supposed to be a god and have like these great powers. So I feel like it would be a missed opportunity. And technically, we haven't really fought a sentient god yet. Like Hunhao, we were just kind of fighting like his consciousness. It wasn't actually him, and we were just kind of hopping around and making music. It would be nice to actually fight one of like this, I don't know if they're like royal family, whatever you want to call them. It would be really cool to fight them. However, I don't know how that would, like you said, like a sentient could come back if, for instance, they were killed, but I don't know just how strong they are. Like they call them gods, but are they gods? Like, are they powerful enough to actually fight us? Would we get smacked? Would they get smacked? It's an interesting thing. I would say boss fight. I would want to see people fight Erra. I mean, like we're going all this way, you know, they have the whole thing with Scarlet Spear, Operation Scarlet Spear. Like, yeah, the payoff should be they get to fight him. So whether he dies or not, I vote no, but I think it would be awesome to actually fight one of like the big higher ups in the sentient hierarchy and see just what they can do.
Well, again, like the what is it? The Elder Queen for the Grenier was theoretically killed in any given circumstances, regardless of what you chose to do in that quest. So potentially something similar, maybe. I mean, it's not like, you know, immortality in Warframe's hardly a new thing. We've got Kuva flapping about all over the place, and it's not like you couldn't necessarily be brought back either.
I was actually going to say, but I was wondering about. I know the sentients have their eye on the Unum, and I don't. Yeah, and I don't know what that might hold, because I know the whole reason that they want Unum, or there was talks about. Oh God, what was it? Was it in the Gara quest? There was something about one of the.
It was the Temple Kuva from the Unum could like heal a sentient, but I'm not sure. I think the inconsistency there is that it wasn't clear that the rest of the sentients knew. It was only that one that was going after it. And then it got killed, and then theoretically nobody else knows about it.
Can you elaborate? What are you talking about?
What do you mean? What in terms of?
Yeah, so what's this sentient can go to the Unum Tower and then get healed thing?
You remember this, don't you?
No, clearly not.
Okay, all right, okay. So Gara, the Gara quest, where there's the Unum, which is obviously the big meat sentient tower thing. Not sentient tower, but, you know, living tower.
Tower.
With a brain, with a Brian. And in that tower, there is some sort of consciousness that basically could predict multiple realities or something like that. And it, for whatever reason, oozed Kuva. That's the only source we've seen it actually come from, like, legitimately. And basically they go around spreading all this goo, if I remember correctly.
Does he do?
And yeah, you know, just starts hucking jam at the nearby wildlife. And I cannot for the life of me remember why. I think it was to sort of spread the influence so she could like see through their eyes or something like that. Right. It's been a long time since I read the lore on this. But as I remember it, the sentients got a hold of some of these creatures and started slaughtering them en masse and realized what they could do, that like consuming the Kuva in them healed them of their sterility so they could reproduce and, you know, go back to their full form, which I guess we've never actually seen.
Really. Oh my God, seriously?
Yeah, but the thing is, it to me, to my mind anyway, it seemed like the Kuva was an unknown to everybody, all the other sentients. None of the others knew about it. It was just the one on the plains. And then Gara blew it up, killing herself and killing the sentient, and sort of took the secret with her. And only the Unum knows about it. Not that we have any idea of whether it's still working in there.
Well, surely the Quills know about it as well.
Yeah, well, I think Onko does mention about it, but it's a matter of it would be weird if the sentients just know where it is. Which that's my theory about what this whole thing is about, what Scarlet Spear is about, is they're looking for Kuva. But why they flew past the bloody great fortress in space filled with Kuva to get to Earth, because I read like a really, really angry post about like the logic of the Veil being like however many astronomical units away from like the center of our solar system or to Earth, and then they're sending the Condrixes over, and they're appearing like at ridiculous speeds. Like if they're going between the Murexes and Earth, it's like bafflingly fast. So it's a little like, you know, sci-fi magic there, but
yeah, but you know, you don't necessarily have to.
Yeah, that's my theory, is that they're going after the Kuva on planes. I that's probably why the trailer that we first saw Erra in was him landing on the planes. That's what I think it is. Yeah, that's where my brain is going with this.
It would make sense. I mean, if not, they're just mounting an attack the way they did the first time, and they're going to run into the same problem. They don't have enough forces. They can't replenish their forces. So it would make sense.
I guess in a way, like a lot of the Tenno are weakened at this point. In that, like, I think the idea is that there's still supposed to be some asleep. So maybe there's, you know, seeing vulnerability, because Ballas obviously mentions that the Golden Spear is gone. All that's left is just the remnants fighting amongst each other over the ruins of the system.
But I still think Ballas is playing a long game.
Yeah, I didn't think so in the last one, and in this one, this is a problem because I'm supposed to be doing. I wanted to wait a week just in case that there was more cinematic stuff. I didn't know if there was or not, because Reb said it was very lore heavy. So I was like, is there going to be more that I need to implement into this video? just wrapping up the cutscene and like dissecting it. But I'm basically doing that now, so maybe I don't even need to. It was last time he was very like submissive and like, oh, Master Erra, oh, yeah. And then obviously in this one, there's so much focus on him. So much focus on him in that entire cutscene, which I find really weird considering it's about your character and Lotus. It seems odd. Like, it already struck me as odd, especially that smile. That creeped the hell out of me. Yeah, it's weird. I mean, we know Ballas went to sort of help or sort of like seek the sentience aid in the first place. And that's sort of how everything went to shit last time. But he stands up tall next to him at the end, and they're both sort of stood at equal heights and like looking on at Lotus. Also, you know, as Lotus starts to look a bit angry at Ballas, and Erra just yeets her at the throne or whatever it is. It's like, yeah, I'm done. Mom said it's your turn on the sentient throne.
Get out of the way. He did kind of just yeet her too. When I looked at the script, I'm like, oh, he like charges her and forces her to like sit down. I'm like, oh, all right. And he's just kind of like, nah, and just throws her in. He's like, all right, I'm done. I'm done putting on the act.
I think the other thing that kind of confuses me with that whole scenario is the fact that the Chimera prologue, Ballas goes out of his way to hide presumably the sentient vision in one of his eyes and give us the blueprint to the paracesis, a weapon you might believe is designed to kill sentience, which seems a bit odd if his whole point is to set up this fight, unless he's like trying to sort of force the conflict so that we kill everybody or something. I don't. God knows.
He's trying to make himself indispensable on either side, so whomever wins, he still comes out all right.
That's a smart boy.
Which would actually kind of be kind of on the nose too, if like
so he's Emperor Palpatine,
human, and half, he's still kind of like half Orokin and half sentient at this point, so it could be
that split out the middle is just upsetting. Just you can see like his intestines or so. I don't even know what that is.
People were really upset about his elongated butt crack. Apparently,
yeah, it's pretty. I mean, I feel like that's like the least of our worries when it comes to sentient symbology. Is the giant flying vagina that comes out of the sky.
Or the tickly finger boy who comes flying around.
Oh yeah, it's just literally it's the goatsy. That's what it is. It's the space goatsy that comes in and you have to shoot it in the butthole. And flying into the vagina doors in the Mirexes as well. Like,
what a game!
I want to be inside head whoever's created that because it must be madness. Like,
I'm wondering how much is it HR Geiger?
Yeah, absolutely. I definitely see a lot of Geiger in this. Yeah, no, that's it's a mystery, I think. Have you got any, you know, and we talked about this before, have you got any predictions as far as the story in the future?
No, I thought I did before the last cutscene. At this point, I really have no idea what direction they're going to go with it. I personally still think Ballas is, like I said, he's playing a con. That's only my personal opinion. I'm not speaking on behalf of DE or anything like that. I just have, that's what I personally think. I have no idea what's going to happen with the whole war or anything like that. I mean, I would like to be a war and kind of force the conflict because it's alluding to like answering questions that have been lingering for a while now. So I would like to see that personally.
I think that like another thing I want to know is like, would you, obviously the way they've done the content with story recently has been very episodic in a bit of a weird way. Like, I like the story, but I feel like it's been done in very short piecemeal bursts with the little cutscenes here and there. It's just little tiny breadcrumbs. Do you want like, do you want this to keep going like as a long-term thing, or would you rather just get you a thematic quest that's like Erra's moment?
Absolutely long term. The more long term, the longer I'm in the game.
It doesn't mean we kill off. I mean, Hunhow's probably not dead. I don't believe that for a second. As we said, there's potential. You know, the Elder Queen is still alive technically,
right?
So you could exist beyond it. I mean, you're not feeling like a giant quest where you get to feature a bunch and do loads of lines.
Actually, that I feel like that just, and this might sound like super selfish, but I just think personally more for me, like that would actually work, that it's a little bit more episodic and piecemeal because it kind of extends the life and like of the character. Like you said, the other, like Hunhow's not dead, the Elder Queen's not dead, but we also haven't heard from them in a while. You know what I mean? Whereas this kind of keeps the character more relevant just for me because I only really started full-time voice acting like a year and a half ago, and I'm still kind of pinching myself that I get to be in a game like Warframe for as many people like have like issues with it or whatever. It is still, you have to admit, a really good game.
Yeah, and very popular as well. I've seen a lot of like, vitriol around a lot of games.
That's just part of like gaming.
Yeah, but I read something where it's like, oh, nobody plays Warframe, it's trash. I was like, I mean, like they may have slipped a little bit on the Steam charts, but they're still like top 20. Like that's still pretty impressive.
Absolutely. And so for me personally, and like I agree with you, I really do like the story. Like when they do have some story notes, I'm like, this is well written, it's intriguing, it's interesting. Like I want to see more of this sort of stuff. So I'm super grateful that I even get to be in the game. So at the same time, hell yeah, like more episodic Erra, like let's do it. I'm down with it. I would like to see him like be the center of the conflict throughout this entire like war. So I would be okay with that.
Getting a little bit big-headed here,
I mean, listen, wait a minute. Am I not supposed to be? It's supposed to be a sentient god. I mean, like, come on, come on.
It's you know what it is? He's the only sentient with legs.
Yeah. That's true. I don't float around.
Even Lotus floats now on Natar, I guess. Erra inexplicably has legs.
The more legs you have, the higher the rank you have.
Yeah, that's how it works. Though. Oh my god, I want a big spider sentient now, please.
Oh god,
please. Oh,
fire. Erra starts crawling, I'm gonna freak out.
Oh no, like crab walking, like backwards.
Yeah. He does have like the weird, like super bendy legs that every time I try to think about, I'm like, which way do they bend, forward first or backwards first? So then if he just gets down on all fours and starts crawling, and then nightmare fuel.
It's General Grievous. That's what it is. He's just like scuttling around. This is his boss fight. I'm picturing it. We're in a big room. It's probably shaped like some sort of genitalia, and scuttling around, jumping up on the ceiling. Oh, I don't like it. I already don't like it.
I kind of like the idea that if they do that, I have to make like a bunch of scree noises. I'll run around the ceiling.
Please, I need that as a soundbite. It'd be perfect.
I mean, if you want to give us
why don't you give us a sample right now?
Okay, I'll do this technically because they already played my voice without all the fun stuff. So the famous line. If I had a heart, it would be broken. If my eyes could weep, I'd be blind. Look at what they've made of you. You're a god. You're a queen. Yet somehow, bees have you as a hostage.
I have chills.
Oh, come on, stop. Come on.
Oh, stop.
Making me feel like I have talent or something.
No,
come on.
This is when we were talking on Twitter when we were sorting all this out, and you were like, have you ever considered voice acting? And I was like, that is why I don't consider voice acting, because I can't pull that off. It's too much gravitas for me. I'm too whiny.
No, I think you can do it. I think you can do it. I mean, you have people who listen to your voice in all your videos. I mean,
yeah, I'm still just, you talk about pinching yourself. It's been like however many years. I'm still surprised people can put up with it for more than 10 minutes.
I think part of it's the accent. I think part of it is definitely the accent.
Yeah, absolutely. Just it's funny because I check my analytics and my viewership is much higher in America. I'm just like, yeah, that's probably right. I'm sure there are better English accents here.
Pretty much. You got the cheat code.
Yeah, it's great. I rolled like a racial skill.
If you ever wanted to do voice acting, America's a place to do it because, like I mentioned, the voice actor who's the voice of Thatcher is British. I'm not sure exactly where he's from. He's mentioned it before, but I didn't pay attention. And he's been in America for 10 years, I think he said, or so. He was in New York for a while, and now he's here in Philadelphia area, and he makes a killing because whenever they need a British guy, he's the British guy.
So basically a villain, yeah. That's
no,
we're getting typecast.
No, he has like a smooth voice that you would see on like a National Geographic type thing. Like he has like a real smooth kind of voice, which is not anything like his speaking voice, but he just pulls it out. I don't know how he does it.
I always like that when you sort of notice somebody's voice from somewhere else. Because I remember I was watching a Let's Play of, I forget the name of the game, it's some puzzle game where it was like all about perspective and stuff. but it had the voice actor for Ballas in it, and I was just like, my ears pricked up as soon as I heard it, and I was like, hey, I know that guy. But it was a completely different accent as well.
I don't even know his name, but the voice actor for Ballas, I think, is fantastic. I absolutely love his voice acting. Like he has. You want to talk about gravitas? He has a gravitas that I wish that I could pull out.
No, I think that's pretty close, man. Oh, can we have Erra do the like the Warframe Prime trailers now, please? Like you can do it like super angry. Just be really mad and like, you know, fuck this thing, it's shit. Look at it. What does it do? It manipulates water. Who needs who fucking Hydroid? Lame. Just do that.
The whole time.
Yeah, just rip on it. Yeah, anyway, to get back on task, just because I'm going to wrap up so I can release you from this torment. Xeno, have you got any more questions that you would like to ask?
You're going to think of one.
Yeah, like so last question.
Okay.
Right, I'm assuming like any reasonable human being, you've seen the movie Predator.
I freaking love Predator. It was my favorite growing up. Absolute favorite. If you're going to mention anything about that the Hunting Grounds game that they just did the beta for this weekend, I was all over it.
No, I wasn't going to go that far. But right, so
I'm nerding.
obviously, Erra doesn't have eyes.
That's very true.
Right? So thermal vision of the Predator. If you could choose any way that Erra could see anything, what would it be? Be X-ray, ultraviolet, thermoptic, infrared,
googly eyes. I need that in my life. I if I was better editor, I would totally. You know, they've done that in Overwatch with all the different all the characters, and like even Hanzo's dragons have googly eyes on them. It looks like totally accurate battle simulator. It's beautiful. Oh, April Fools! What nonsense you bring to our lives. But sorry, yeah, go for it.
Oh, it's all right. So, I would have to say, because of the whole bird plague doctor kind of theme going on, I would have to say ultraviolet, because I know there's like some birds of prey that can see in ultraviolet and can like stalk their prey based on like urine trails or something like that. So basically, Erra could see if a Tenno took a piss and could follow them. Why the hell not? But yeah, ultraviolet.
Kneels down, like scrapes the floor. Piss.
Like a little like anteater tongue comes out of the beak.
Oh no! That's even worse.
It's like
male Tenno.
About 6 foot tall.
Favors Excalibur.
10 hours ago or so.
Had burritos.
Oh God.
Jesus. Oh my God. Yeah, and my final question is Space Mum. Save or slay? You know, from both perspectives right now.
See, I don't know why so many people have animosity towards her. They really just want to kill her. I'm not sure why.
Thank you for that.
Yeah, like I mean,
nobody seems to get it. Everybody's just like, she left us. It's like, mate, she was around for fucking years. It's just because the way that DE tells the story, it's all very like close. Like new players who started in like Plains of Eidolon would have been around for like a year and then just gone.
Just got and out of there. But I mean, she's the poster child for the entire game. Like everybody who plays the game knows who the Lotus is. And personally, seeing all the cutscenes and everything, she's kind of getting like tossed around. Everybody wants something from her. Her father, her brother, Ballas, us. Like everybody wants her to be something different. So could you really blame her for having some problems with identity? I personally think they shouldn't kill her. I think she should be able. I think they should get to a point where they can make sure she's not under anybody's influence and she can make a decision on her own. We don't even know if her being the Lotus was her actual choice or because of Ballas kind of poking his weird fingers around in her head. So I say save.
So now I'm going to read into all those old voice lines from like Apostasy Prologue and completely confuse myself with that. But yeah, anyway, thank you very much for coming, Antonio.
Thank you for having me.
It's been an absolute pleasure. It's been. I hope we can do this again at some point. It was good fun,
man. I mean, I had fun. I watched both of your videos. I really enjoy, and I really enjoy reaching out to the community too. So, like, if you guys want to, like, if you have any questions that aren't spoilers, I got you.
It's fine. I was going to try.
That was an evil laugh. You heard that evil laugh? He's up to something.
Nothing.
Yeah. Any socials you want to plug?
Oh God.
I can put
So
stuff
many.
in the description or whatever as well.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to just send you some of the links because I have a few
Absolutely.
different
That's fine.
things.
In which case, thank you very much for watching, everybody. This has been an evening with a killer robot. See you all later. Say bye, guys.
Bye,
Hi, guys.
Terrific.